folks, welcome to Reading with Kermie and Chris here, aka Kermie, and I am reading Don't Stress the Small Stuff, It's Just Small Stuff with your family. This is book 2 out of Don't Stress the Small Stuff, and it is a trilogy, so we still got a lot of reading material to cover, which is awesome because I enjoy doing this show, so I'm glad I get to continue this with you guys. So, we are on chapter 6, and it pretty good title, I like it. Called Forgive Your Outbursts. Let's see what it has to reveal, shall we? I don't care who you are, or how together you are. There will be times which you simply lose it. More often than not, losing it isn't really all that big of a deal. You get angry or raise your voice. You feel victimized or taken for granted. You throw up your hands in disgust. You get so stressed out that you feel like you're going to flip out. You might even rant and rave, or worse yet, you might even punch or throw something. But unless you're actually hurt someone or yourself, it's important to forgive your outburst. Admit that you're only human. Move on and vow to become less uptight. That's the best you can do. A bigger problem, I believe, than an outburst is the way we beat ourselves up after the fact. Truth. We tell ourselves what bad people we are, or what a bad job we're doing at home. We feel guilty and fill our minds with negativity and self-pity. Sadly, this self-defeating inner talk doesn't accomplish anything positive, and may even actually encourage us to repeat the very behavior we are upset about by keeping our attention and focus on the problem. Throughout my career, I've met some extraordinary people, including a number of world-famous therapists and authors who specialize in teaching others to be peaceful. While most of them are, in fact, peaceful and loving people, not one of them, by their own mission, is exempt from an occasional outburst or frustration. Everyone is human and deserves to be forgiven, especially you. Becoming a more peaceful person, especially around the familiarities of the home, is a process, not a destination. It's common for people to say to me, I've learned to be a far less reactive person, and I'm a great deal happier than ever before, and I still lose it once in a while. My response is almost always, congratulations, you're doing great. One of the keys to forgiving yourself quickly is to admit that you lost it, and to remind yourself that you will certainly do so again. Probably thousands of times, and it's okay. The more important piece of the puzzle is that you're moving in the right direction. And when you start to forgive your own outbursts, it becomes far easier to extend the same courtesy to others as well. In fact, in our home, I sort of like it. Once in a while, when one of the kids or Chris loses it a bit, because it gives me a chance to practice compassion, reminds me that essentially we're all in this together. After all, I know all too well how bad it feels. My guess is that if you can be more forgiving of your own outbursts and those of others, the downs you experience and your tendency to sweat the small stuff at home will lessen substantially. What a cool reading! We're dog sitting, and the dog Gwen and Mr. Binks are running around. They'd be mean to each other and all that good stuff. But anyway, back to reading with Kermie. And that reading was a good reading. And it's true. We all have those outbursts, and we all move past those outbursts. And, it reminds me of, it happens quite a bit, actually, when people come up to me and ask me, how would you always be so happy? Well, there are times where not exactly, and I do get those outbursts that chapter talks about. And there's a lot of times where I don't forgive my outbursts, but you know what? I need to start doing so. We all need to do that to ourselves because we are human. And sometimes we get mad, sometimes we throw fits, and so on and so forth. And that is just our human nature. We forgive ourselves and move past it. But my old habit was never forgiving myself. And what that chapter talks about is continually beating myself up over things that I don't need to be beating myself up over. And that stops today. Yeah, that was a good reminder to pause and tell yourself it's okay, you're human. Move forward. I can still remember 2 summers ago, I think it was, in my relationship, that there was a huge outburst, and I've never had an outburst like that in my life. And I had a tough time forgiving myself. I felt bad and felt terrible, and at the time I couldn't forgive myself. I thought I was being mean, but at that moment I just threw a fit, and that's all it was. Anger was released in a yelling form at the time, and I swear we were in the middle of the woods hiking, and something upset me, so I screamed and yelled and watched all the birds and stuff fly off the trees and echo, and it was nasty. But anyway, it's time for myself for that and say, you know what, it's okay, Chris, you are only human, and so are we. So that's what that chapter tells me. Those outbursts happen. Just move forward, forgive yourself, forgive the situation, whatever you gotta do. But just know that it happened, and that's part of life, and we grow from it and expand. So with that, I'd like to say you guys have a wonderful day. I gotta get ready to get to town shortly. I have my improv class tonight, which is pretty freaking awesome. I recommend that for anybody who's interested. And if you are, just let me know, and I can send you down some info and all that good stuff with that. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and you absorbed whatever you needed to absorb off of that, and wish you all well today. Peace. Be back tomorrow.